Hey everybody, Nick Espinoza, your chief security fanatic here. Obviously traveling at the moment, as some of you know, but today we're going to be talking about Amazon because Amazon can pretty much just read your mind at this point. They know pretty much everything else about you, and here's what's going on, because this is actually coming from three different sources in the past week or so: CNBC, the Associated Press, and Wired. And honestly, they're pretty much mind readers at this point. I've got my notes. Here's what's going on. Now, Amazon said this past Wednesday that they will start selling a device later this year that can track your sleeping patterns without needing a wristband. Now, this device is called Halo Rise, and it will use no contact sensors and artificial intelligence to measure your movement, your breathing patterns, and allows the device to track sleep stages during the night. Basically, this is, again, according to Amazon. Amazon said the device, quote, does not include cameras or microphones and will go for $139.99 US. Now, it may not include cameras or microphones, but if it has sensors to understand your movement in some way, shape, or form, they may actually be able to track something that is wholly unique to you. We'll see what goes on. Now, the Halo Rise would be the latest device in their Halo line, which includes a fitness tracker that got really bad reviews. Like, why does anybody need this? According to the Washington Post when it first came out. But this includes a fitness tracker that can track your physical activity and sleeping patterns. And Amazon noted essentially that the device can connect to its virtual assistant, the Amazon Echo, aka Alexa. That, and I'm not saying it fully, basically it allows users then to wake up to their favorite songs and light that, quote, simulates the colors of a gradual brightening of a sunrise, end quote. Now, on top of this, Amazon also announced that their existing home robot known as Astro, which I believe is named after the Jetsons' dog, if I recall properly, is going to get some new features as well. Now, Ken Corrali, I believe I'm pronouncing that correctly, he's the vice president that actually helped create the Kindle ebook reader, is part of this Astro project at Amazon's Lab 126. And he said, and I quote, robots are hard. We didn't know what the value would necessarily be right then, but we knew it was going to take a while to get there. So we said we have to get started. Now, if you don't know about Astro, Wired had a really good explanation about this as they talked about their new features. Astro, in a nutshell, according to Wired, and I think it's great, and I quote, is a cutesy two-wheeled robot about the size of a bowling ball with a touch screen for a face and a little periscope for peering over tabletops. It can automatically map your home using several sensors and will then wander curiously around, avoiding obstacles, people, and pets. Users can also log into the robot and control it remotely. However, as the less than glowing early reviews pointed out, it still isn't all that clear why anybody needs this machine underfoot. Amazon suggests that Astro can help you keep an eye on your home from afar by recognizing different people and then sounding an alarm and sending an alert if it comes across a stranger. That's neat, but not exactly a killer app. In other words, they basically integrated cameras with facial recognition into this little robot that is rolling around looking at absolutely everything in your house, cataloging all these different kinds of things. And I will get to what Astro can do with the next thing that we're going to be talking about. But before I talk about that, let's talk about the new features that Astro just got. And it will, and I quote, according to the new updates, recognize when a door or window inside a home has been left open and alert its owner. That upgrade doesn't make Astro a must-have, but it is rooted in AI technology that could allow the robot to learn all sorts of useful things about a person's home by looking around and receiving some instruction. Useful things, obviously, according to Amazon. That quote, for the record, was from Wired. And so I'm curious to know when Astro will take all of that data and the habits of its users and then send it to Amazon so they can do things like make psychological predictions about who you are, so they can use that or sell that advertising, to whoever is getting psychologically profiled or worse. So something like, hey, alert, Nick leaves the doors and windows unlocked and he forgets to put away his socks as well. Analysis says, I've got ADHD, so let's sell me some drugs to basically combat that. These are the kinds of things that this information combined with artificial intelligence could possibly bring out. I mean, why not? If you think about it, they already know a ton of things about millions of people, shopping habits, all these kinds of things, and here's how. Now, according to CNBC, my third source here today, Amazon is totally dominating the smart home market compared to its closest competitors. Last month, Amazon made even more news. I talked about this, I believe believe on my radio show. Maybe I did a video and podcast on it. But last month, Amazon made even more moves, basically to enter a new segment of the smart home basically market with a $1.7 billion offer to buy iRobot. They make the Roomba vacuum cleaner. Now, the Federal Trade Commission is requesting more information from both iRobot and Amazon before deciding whether to approve the deal or not. It's that big. Basically, Roomba can map out an entire floor of your home and then conveniently store that data in Amazon's cloud if Amazon owns it. Plus, these things come with cameras. It can literally send pictures of everything, including humans and pets, not to mention furniture types, etc., to Amazon's cloud where, hey, maybe Amazon data mines it if they own it. So, hey, Nick has a coffee table made out of old pizza boxes he never got rid of, but you know what? He can actually afford a Roomba, so let's try and sell him a coffee table. Or hey, Nick's couch is X brand. Let's sell him everything in that typical style that Amazon Basics has ripped off from other companies for years, and he'll buy them for less than what he would from the original company. And if you don't think that's true, then you haven't been paying attention to the multitude of lawsuits around the world, like I have, where brands are accusing Amazon of that exact thing. They're looking at these things as they're being sold in the Amazon marketplace. They see the success, they make a knockoff copy for way cheaper, and here we are. Those are actual lawsuits going on right now. Do your homework. Now, on top of this, Amazon says that 140,000 products are now compatible with Amazon, although quote unquote very few of those are actually owned by the company itself, Amazon. It acquired, if you recall, video doorbell maker Ring for $1 billion in 2018. I can't tell you how many times I've railed against that. Just 3 months later, it bought security camera maker Blink for $90 million. In 2019, they paid $97 million for Eero, that's the mesh wireless system to help connect multiple smart devices at home, not to mention your just wireless internet in general. Now, I think, for the record, it's not about the very few, it's about market dominance. I'd love to see, and Amazon does not release this stuff, but I'd love to see the sales numbers of those very few brands that Amazon owns, and I'm willing to bet that their combined sales probably outweigh like 60% of the other products combined of that 140,000. That's how huge Amazon is. Of course, I could be wrong. I don't know the exact numbers as I've stated, but they are dominating this. Now, according to Marja Koopmans, the director of smart home at Amazon, talking to NBC, and I quote Koopmans, 300 million devices are connected to Alexa today. That's up from 200 million less than a few years ago, and the growth is rapid, meaning they've in a few years added another 100 million connected devices worldwide. This is how big Amazon is getting. Now, the number of Alexa-enabled products started skyrocketing after it opened its voice activation platform to outside developers in 2015. Last year, the entire US smart home market was worth nearly $113 billion, up from 20% in 2020. That's according to IDC. Now, we are basically consuming home products like this, smart light bulbs, robot dogs that monitor you, these kinds of things constantly. Amazon shipped 11.5% of US smart home devices in 2021. That is a 15.5% increase from the year before, and they are dominant. Their closest competitor is Google, only owning 6.5% of the entire market. Samsung came in third at 5.8%. Now, more than 77% of Wi-Fi connected households in the United States own at least one smart home device in 2021. I don't have any smart home devices beyond a smart TV. I would think that I have isolated. The other one would be, it's not really a smart device, but it's a printer, and I keep a gun next to the printer, and if it makes a noise I don't like, I shoot it. I do not want smart home devices in my house for obvious reasons, especially not from Amazon. Now, Ms. Miller from the American Economics Liberty Project said that she is concerned about the growing number of devices that can collect user data. Quote, to track your shopping habits, which Amazon does, to track your movements, Amazon can do that, to track even where things are placed in your home, Roomba, the dog, Astro, all that. Quote, to continue to quote, what's going on outside your front door, Ring doorbell, Blink, etc. Quote, they can create this incredibly complex, detailed data profile that they can then use to expand and grow their own business, and through that process to push out competitors that simply could never surveil you with that degree of sophistication. Absolutely correct. I talked about this with the Echo Show, where they had this is the first integration with camera. If I walk past that with like a band t-shirt, I don't care, take your pick, Metallica, The Who, whoever you like, they see that and they, oh, Nick's a fan of Metallica or The Who or, whoever. Now I get advertised for concert tickets on the damn thing. This is what we are talking about. Now, Amazon's alleged anti-competitive practices are being challenged in an antitrust bill that's being considered by Congress. I've talked about that as well, and in lawsuits filed with attorney generals in the District of Columbia, which is Washington, D.C., and now California, the state. Now, Amazon's stated policy is to use data only in an aggregated, anonymized way. That said, we have multiple lawsuits, like I said, going on around the world. Some I remember specifically coming out of India, where makers are saying, well, they've got access to all of our sales numbers, all of our competitiveness, because they are seeing all of our designs. They see how well we're selling because we are getting our analytics from Amazon's sales engine as we use their marketplace. And the next thing we know, 3 months later, they've got all of our products under Amazon Home Basics or another brand, and they're selling them for a third less, and we are getting killed. Now, this is absolutely true. And interestingly enough, I want to say it was about 7-8 years ago, there was a company that used to sell like things for toddlers and babies and all that essentially came to me for cybersecurity consultation, and they were getting 50% of their sales through Amazon, not their website anymore. And within a year, they were out of business because they could not keep up. Now this is one of those things I think that we really need to understand about this that we've got. We are being data mined to the nth degree. Why would you want to bug your own home? And Amazon seems to be doing this, and they are doing this and collecting an enormous amount of data. Now, I'm obviously terrified, about the Facebooks and the Googles of the world as we are giving them a whole bunch of information, as they are reading our Gmail, as we are putting things on Facebook, facial recognition, all these different kinds of things. But Amazon is basically getting an intimate physical look into our homes in a way no other company is. Google would like to. Facebook has tried it with the portal. Like 3 people outside of their employees bought that thing, and Amazon and Google has some home market share, but Amazon is killing absolutely everybody, as I just showed you. And so this is a huge problem, not to mention the anti-competitiveness that, was mentioned here as well. So understand that if you are putting these smart home devices in your house, sure, fine, but you are being tracked, you are being monitored. Any conversation or argument you have, if you're getting intimate, in your house, they are going to know this. They're going to hear this. They're going to see this because they've got the devices that literally have to have cameras or microphones on at all time to hear things like trigger words or motion or anything else. And so think about it. I actually did a video with an Amazon Echo where I'm like Schmexa, Blexa, Rexa, Integra, Ablegra, and then I say the trigger word that you all know, and the thing fires up. Now, how did it know that word out of the other 10 that I did? Because it has to listen to everything. So take that for what it's worth. You can't say you haven't been told, and here we are. And please like, share, follow me here on Facebook and Twitter at NickAESP, where you will be data mined, but probably not in your house like you will with Amazon. And feel free to subscribe to me at YouTube as well. Please hit that bell. And as always, stay safe, stay online, and please attempt to stay private, which means you probably shouldn't buy Amazon things. Thanks, everyone.